Alrighty, I started pulling things apart and I forgot that I wanted to record what I had done, uh, just as a reminder. So this is the mega tree and how I had set this little mega tree up. It's only 8 feet tall, and how I had set it up was I used an umbrella stand. Of course, I have a small lot, so I can't put one of those real big mega trees up. Um, and so what I had done is use an umbrella stand and just pounded in those rebar. And we get really high winds here in Rio Rancho, and it survived. And then what I did is I had, of course, took a string and measured around, and then I used these spikes and pounded these in. And so, and that, it worked out really good. It was able to, and I did have it strapped off. I did have a muffler clamp on here to pull some tension. And then what I had used is a differential receiver, and then I just used and power injected right here directly from the same power supply, so that way I didn't have to worry about any back feeding or anything like that. It worked out really good. However, the one thing that I noticed from doing this is I should have used 1-inch spacing, so I'm going to change it this year to 1-inch spacing. The star is also fed from power supply right here, and yeah, I'll probably keep this same setup next year. Worked out really good. The wind, it didn't go anywhere. Those are 4-foot rebar or 3-foot rebar, 2 foot in the ground and a foot out. Worked really good. The wind, like I said, it was impossible for it to tip over that way. And then, like I said, these I'm going to put 1-inch spacing instead of 2-inch spacing. Yeah, and of course I used the Matos eyelets. They worked out really good. So I don't want to. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'll pull these pixels out, and then, like I said, string it with 100. These are 50. I'll put 100, and like I said, it just from the distance to the road. You know, of course, it's not until you run your first show. The 2-inch spacing did not work very well. I mean, nobody complained, but you really couldn't see if there was images very well. And I had the same issue with the 2-inch spacing chroma mesh from Boscoyo. So I'm going to go to a 1-inch spacing. Maybe I'll use that, you know, somewhere else, up higher. Maybe I can move it up higher where it's further away, and it'll look good. But from the road, that did not look as good as I had hoped. Alrighty, then of course it starts raining. Let me try to walk through while I have a chance. Just to finish taking down the mega tree. And so one of the things that I did is I used strips to do around the house, and then this I couldn't get them to fit perfectly right here, so this was actually just laying around, so I just pounded that in the ground, ran that there, and zip tied it on. Worked out really good. And probably when I go to take those down, I'll get up there and show you how I did that. But I just used those, you know, zip tied to PVC, and then used those clamps that you use for regular lights to hold with the PVC, and it worked out fine. Here's the rosary, and all I did was just did a PVC frame for it, zip tied it on there, and I think I zip tied it in a couple different locations. And it's just friction fit it, and it did good. I'm happy with that. I zip tied it in the center in there, and it worked out really good. So, and I used how I was able to do that is I used from Inspire Lighting. Again, let me see if I could pull it out better so I'll show you this Inspire Light Shows setup. Provides really good support, and then like I said, all I did was I used these. Now all I have to do is take the Velcro off, and then it'll drop right out. And this is also how I hung it in the garage. I hung it from some. I have safe racks in the garage, and I just hung it on some hooks, and that worked out really well for storage. So I am going to, like I said, take this off right now, and I'll show you another clip real quick. And so what I did is I ran the line over here, and then it's on a, as you can see, Rosa wreath. This actually has two differential receivers in it that one is feeding the Rosa wreath, and then one is feeding this matrix right here. And then I'll take you up on the roof and show you where that's coming from, to feed the two differential receivers. This worked out really good. Like I mentioned before, I was having some difficulties with the matrix. I don't know, I had some channel overlap for a while, and messing with it, trying to figure it out, and it took me a while, and then I got sick with the stomach virus right at Christmas time, and I was sick for about 3 or 4 days and did not mess with it anymore after that. So I didn't record any videos like I was going to. I was going to record videos at Christmas, and I didn't, to show the difference of what the channel overlap was. And then the other thing too is I'm going to take these down. I'm going to take these down first, because I did not like the way this turned out. In the wind, it blew really badly, and as you can see, I'll have to take the pressure washer to wash that off. But I don't like, it was, it could support it, but it just, in the wind, I didn't, and in fact, one of the windstorms, I took them down because it was so bad. So, I mean, I liked the way it looked. Okay, so I took the chroma flakes down, and I just wanted to show the mounting system I used for these was from Bergman Lights. He uses this on a lot of things, and then they have special clamps. You can just clamp it to your, but I had stuck on. I can't screw it in, I can't screw those mounting clips into the wall like what he had showed on his setup. But this worked out really good. Still, it kept everything away, and like I showed you, the one thing was it did leave those marks because of the wind, and I'm not going to set it up this way again next year. And they are a little further away from my receiver, and I use these F-amps, that's what they're called, from Falcon, and those worked really well. So yeah, but I just wanted to highlight the like I said, that mounting system from that Bergman Lights. Yeah, he shows you how to make it. And of course, one of the problems you had this year was the supply chain problems, and I had to go to 2 or 3 different hardware stores to get all the parts, actually. Hopefully this year it'll be a little bit easier to get supplies and parts. All right, I'm gonna take a quick video of how I did these mini trees from Gilbert Engineering. It is really cold out, so I'm just going to open one up. And we had a lot of wind here this season, and these did not move, probably because of the shape in as well as the being so low to the ground. And so this worked out really well. I put them down with these, you know, garden spikes to help keep the shape. And then I did do power injection because they're all four of them are strung together on one port. So I did do the power injection. Like I said, it rained yesterday, so, and this morning, and it is wet. But so all I did was for the star, and then put these spikes. I just got these in the gardening section at Lowe's. Just pounded them down, zip tied it, stuck these in the holes. That worked out really good. They didn't move at all in the wind and in the weather, so I was really happy with this setup. So I will definitely set it up the same way next year. Really simple. And I only did the 100 and I think it's 150 or 140, I can't remember, because you know the view from the road, you only see you only see that amount of pixels. So it worked out really well. They looked really good. I know it was a simple, cheap, easy way to set them up. I will do that again the same way next year. So let me finish putting the rest of these away while I can still stand the freezing cold out here. Get part of it put away. I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, it's getting super cold out here. I'm going to take these down right now, but I just wanted to show you the simple setup on these. Again, each of these are, there's a strip in there. There's actually one of these strips in there. And so each of those have 50 pixels on a strip. And they wound up looking really nice at night. They didn't go anywhere, and as you can see, the wind's blowing right now, and it's really super chilly out. They didn't go anywhere, so and each one of those just wanted to 16. All the strips are just fed into the F16. So that's the strips that are on that side, and then up there going into that F16. So I'm going to pull these out next and then probably go inside, and hopefully I could do the rest tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be warmer out and no wind. I'll check back in tomorrow. And now it's starting to snow, so I think for today I am done. Yeah, better head inside before I get too cold. Well, next time we come back, I'll work on the bulbs, show you how I set those up. And then hopefully I can get the rest of the yard pulled down tomorrow, and then we'll get up on the roof and show you what I did on the roof. But for now, I will turn it off and head inside. Okay, these little spiral trees, they look really, really nice. Easy storage on these. I'm just going to leave the pixel strip on there, and all I do is use some of those ground spikes, garden spikes, and these didn't go anywhere. These 3 spikes on each one, even in the wind, you know, there's enough weight on them to keep them in place. Didn't even have any issue with them, and then I'm just gonna stack them like that. Don't have to worry, they'll be ready to go next year. Easy peasy. One thing that I've been doing is carrying the bucket around as I pull the spikes or cut everything off. I just toss it in here and a little go bucket. Simple storage. And like I said, those pixel strips really popped. You can see it in the videos. I really like the effect that it gave. You know, you don't want to use all the same type props and all the same type pixels. You know, try to change it up. Next year I'll try adding a few different pixel types too. I'll purchase some different things. I was actually looking at some 24 volt pixels, and I'm going to try those this year. So alrighty, put this away, work on those next, and then might be done because it is super chilly here right now. Alrighty, just showing you these Gilbert Engineering bulbs, and again, like I said, I already showed this once before, but this Hanson Electronics Power 8 distribution board, differential receiver, and again, this was the only 5 volt props down here in the yard. Was these bulbs. Everybody loved them, and make sure and label everything really well if you're using different power sources. Yeah, these everybody loved these. You know, you would hear comments from the neighbors about, are those bulbs singing? So it was really cool. So again, those were a favorite. Everybody, all the neighbors loved these. And again, I only ran them at 30%. So, you know, as you know, during the holidays, your neighbors save plenty of money on not having to have security lights, because you pretty much light up their entire front yard as well. So fortunately, I talked to the neighbors. Everybody was good with it. And you know, the one lady, she said, you know, it's the holidays, not a big deal. Yeah, it's only for, you know, about 30 days worth of shiny lights. So, and then real quick, taking these out, I don't recommend just leaning over and pulling them out unless you have really loose soil, because you know, I pounded in there quite a ways. And so what I did is just followed the old advice of our good old pal Archimedes, and put a rock down there. You guys are gonna have plenty of EMT laying around. You can see I bent it earlier when I was doing this, but you know, and I just put some good old vice grips on there, and then just lift it up with a fulcrum point and a lever, and like Archimedes said, you can, with the proper fulcrum and lever, you can lift the world. So that's what I recommend doing, is just work smarter, not harder. Yeah, I don't recommend just leaning down trying to yank those out. with your back. It's just not worth it. Anyway, I'll check back in and let you know where I'm at with the rest of the cleanup. Alright, now let's break down the Billy Mini, and I put a Gilbert Engineering star on the top of it. It's a Matos design. Turned out really good. The only mistake I made is on this piece of EMT. I cut it too short because I think I measured it what I thought was exact, but I want to be about 2 inches off. So next year I'll recut cut another piece about 2 inches. I tried to put a spacer in here, and then of course the wind that we had wound up, as you can see, it bent a little bit in the wind, or it gave away a little bit in the wind. But for the most part, it's there. I didn't really go anywhere, and then just the star was easy. They have a, let's see it, in the center of this is all thread, and it's up about 6 inches up into there. Then you just set the star on there, and of course I had to put a little spacer in there to hold it off. Zip tied it. Worked out really good. Like I said, and as you can see, that because of the wind and I didn't quite have the right length on that, it kind of bent a little bit, but I used these zip ties and was able, as you know, I would pull on them and tighten it back up. Just got these off Amazon, and again, turned out really good. Did have to use power injection on it, but it was really nice. I was really happy. I was really happy with the Matos design products that I bought this year. I will buy another. I want to get one more of these, so I have 2, and then of course one more of those. This wound up being my favorite prop of all, just because I think it's really cool design, and the color, the green and the yellow star really pop. So I'm gonna buy another one of these. So one more of those, and one more of these, so I can have I think everybody likes to have even amounts of props when you're doing this, so both sides of the yard will look the same. Anyway, that's turned out really good. Yeah, like I said, the Matos stuff I highly recommend. I mean, all the props turned out really good. All the Gilbert Engineering, all the Boscoyo. No complaints about anything. And yeah, people really like this, because when the tree, and I had both trees up, they would talk to each other, so it was really cool. So I have no complaints of any of the products I purchased this year. They all turned out really nice. Real simple design, simple setup. Like I said, this was my fault. I forgot what I cut this at, but like I said, I should have cut it about 2-3 inches longer. I'll correct that next year's setup. All right, I just wanted to go back and show the Matos spiral tree. I think it's 100 pixels and 20 for the star. Comes with the star kit. You have to purchase the star separately. And in this instance, oh, that's what it is. I piece together remnants and it worked fine. I think you can purchase it with 20 pixels, but I think what happened is because they were out of these on one of my orders, they actually JR tossed this in my next order. I'm not certain he even charged me for that, but it didn't come with the pixels, so I had to add the pixels to it. But you can buy this with the pixels, just like this comes with the pixels already included from JR's site. So this tree is really cool. I like, and of course, all I did was the simple pounded some rebar down into the ground and then set this on. So this is just setting on a piece of rebar that's probably pounded down a foot, 2 feet into the ground and 2 feet up, maybe even more than that. It might be about halfway up, this 3 feet up, and then I just slid this on top of it, and then I think yeah, see, so you can see. Real cool design, real simple setup. I really, like I said, this is one of my favorite props. I'm going to buy another one next year as soon as they go on sale and they're available once again. Yeah. And then I just wanted to show you how easy it is to store. Yeah, see how that all folds down? Really nice. I'm probably just going to stick it in a storage bin and be good to go for next year. Yeah, it folds up really nice. So I like that design. It's very simple, very easy to use. Like I said, probably my favorite prop, just because I love the colors. So here's what happens when you run out of connectors and pigtails. I just I'll order some pigtails to be able to connect this properly, so I'll be able to take it apart next year properly. But yeah, I ran out of pigtails, so I just wired everything directly and cut the wire to length for what I needed for all the power injecting that I was doing, and that worked out fine. And like I said, I think I showed this before, but Inspire Light Shows makes these great brackets for these. And then I used a Power8 distribution board from Hanson Electronics. I don't know where I got this power supply. This power supply probably came from Wired Watts, I'm guessing. And then, yeah. So when you make sure and order enough pigtails, if you're going to use pigtails to inject power into those power injection tees, make sure and order enough pigtails for your power injection as well. I did not do that this year, and as everybody knows, ordering things this year, especially after you're getting everything already set up, was darn near impossible to get certain items because of supply chain issues. And then I think everybody just really sold out of everything this year. So good for all the vendors. Hopefully they don't over order this next year and then have excess, because that'd be terrible for them as well. So, but this is hopefully the hobby's growing a lot. So hopefully all the vendors are doing really good, because like I said, every single vendor I used, fantastic. They provide you advice and help you with setting things up. Again, like I said, I only used Falcon controllers, so yeah, with regards to the rest of the controllers, I can't give you any advice on those. But David Pitts is fantastic. I think I called him twice as I was trying to set things up, and he kind of explained things I would need and how to set things up. So but that's, yeah, order enough pigtails. That's the lesson here. And so just to give you a closer look at how I did my strips on my roof lines, I just zip tied them, and then told X-Lights which way they were running, and this worked out really good. And like I said, all I did was as you can see, ran them around, and then I just zip tied them to those clips, and you know, I only look for each section, 1, 2, 3, 3 clips, 1, 2, 3, 4 on this section, and that worked out really good. I didn't want to power inject or anything like that, so I just left them, you know, 50 pixels, and then I used, of course, on the roof it took, to do the way I did it, all 16, and you can see them going up to there. And then likewise, when I had done that down here, I used all 16 ports for these strips, because I used them in the leaping arches, and I also used them in my spiral trees, and they worked out really good. And that's why I used differential receivers, because all I did was just set, you know, the Falcons, both of them, to 50 pixels per output, and then I used the differential receivers for the rest of the props, and that worked out really good. So I will use these again next year, and probably that same setup over there. I didn't cut off those. I just kind of ran out of time and didn't mess with it, but again, worked out really good. You couldn't, and then of course my Falcon was sitting right there, and so for people who don't like strips, or if they say don't use strips, but as long as you, like I said, I didn't mess with injecting power or anything like that, or try to cut them and splice them. I just left them, and just did, like I said, 50 at a time, 5 volts. These are 5 volts. So 50 at a time, and it looked really nice. It turned out really nice, looking at the outline of the house. Okay, and here you go, close up. So all I did was got these hooks, you know, just your standard light hooks. Hooked them on here and zip tied them. Okay, and so the drawback with the way I did the strips is the cable. Now, of course, you can't see this at night. But that is the one drawback with the way I did that, with, you know, 50. Okay, so Falcon F16 V3, same thing. This controls the matrix, this controls the MOA, this controlled, this actually went down to a receiver that controlled the Rosa Wreath, and then this controls the Rosa Grande. So 5 volts, and then, like I said, put everything out to the differential receivers, and then the differential receivers were all 12 volts off of this one. So, oh, whoop, no, I take that back. The Rosa Grande is 5 volts, and that is sitting over here. Yeah, 5 volts. And again, I built this frame and quickly realized when I hung this in the garage that was not going to support the weight. So then I decided to just use this as a kind of a model, and then the same thing, I just put this in here, this 1x2 frame, leaned it back, attached it to that. The same deal, it's got Inspire light shows mounting system. As you can see, and then I use that same, like I said, it worked out really good. And then this, we get lots of wind, and I just put that PVC frame to kind of keep it from bouncing against the window. And as you can see, that worked really well. And there's enough weight, and just leaned it in there, and it worked out really well. Yeah, no complaints. So and again, you know, this is a 5 volt. And the reason why I did 5 volts is because of the density. And then, since I was going to use this controller anyway, 5 volts, and there was enough power out of here to power all these pixels, and that's all that's on here. 4 ports, and then I power injected directly from here. So this box is only supplying the data and the power to this Rosa Grande. And I will keep it that way next year too. And then the MOA. So the MOA, I just zip tied onto here. This, of course, I made sure that this would be able to support. I'd say the MOA is about 30, at most 30 pounds. And again, Inspire light shows mounting system. Didn't go anywhere. And then I have it I had 2 boxes for the MOA, same thing. Differential receiver, using the Inspire light show system in here. And then I just push that up in there, zip tie it together. Bag of gravel there. So I only needed the 2 ports for the power injection. So if I decide to add something later, like maybe around here, I will be able to have some power injection, or if I add some more props, I'll be able to add power injection. Because I did not go this far, so I'll think about that next year if I'm gonna put anything over there, or maybe something on this window to try to even things out, because there was nothing over here on this side. And so plenty of power for more props next year if I add something next year. So again, I really like this. As you can see, there's water got in there, but everything stayed dry on the inside. And then that system comes out on nice and snug. So yeah, I recommend if you, these are relatively cheap ammo boxes from Harbor Freight, and then like I said, the Inspire light shows. And like I said, if you have a 3D printer, I don't have a 3D printer, so I ordered everything from him, but you could just buy the files and then you'd be able to print everything off yourself. Relatively inexpensive, I think, if you do it that way. So yeah, that's how I hook the mower up.